So I have started the stream. It's the 21st of December 23. Merry Christmas. I've still in the process of reorganizing everything with the addition of, I switched out 2 of the monitors on my rack to 32-inch 4K. So I've had to switch stuff around, and now I'm going to keep the vertical 27 1080p, one of the other monitors that I took off on the side with OBS and whatever else I need up there. I don't know why I'm not getting the side tone here for this. Maybe I got something going on. I don't know. I hope it's streaming properly. Anyway, we had a news release at 7:30, so it got a nice pop. Had I been on my toes instead of fussing with this, test, nice test back to VPOC and then 10 plus points up. So that was a real clean trade. 1 or 2 folks, I think, in T-Lab got a hold of that. I did not. I will likely not trade this morning. Volume is extremely light. Got only 200 contracts, 200,000 contracts traded out so far. About 100 of those were after that number. I'm trying to get all my stuff figured out here. I've switched my monitor configurations around, and so my directional screen switching this is all likely to have an error. We're looking to open higher in range compared to this is yesterday's trade, and so here's our close. We're opening higher in range. That's how that works for the stats on IRT. And not sure what the hell has happened over here. I guess it just held up. We're looking into the open at 8:30. We've got, well, if you would have to think about yesterday, there's got to be a huge amount of shorts on the hook. Just to take a quick look at yesterday's trade here. Look at that. This is after that news. Up, just consolidated, and then kabam, kabam, kabam. So were these longs liquidating, or do we have shorts on the hook? Probably a little of both. So I would expect we might get some responsive selling here, I guess. Anyway, so we'll see how we go here. Open in a couple of minutes, about 3. And get set up here. The statistics are in place from our IRT study. These are based on the opening type. So if we're going to open higher in range, it's a 74% chance or statistic that we will touch and trade through the overnight high. ETH is extended trading hours or electronic trading hours or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's the overnight anyway. This is the volume profile for the full session, which started at 1700 last night and will continue through the day. This is the volume for the last current session which will immediately at 8:30 reset. And this is the chart volume profile, which shows the volume of what's visible on this chart. So here at 8:30, we'll notice a reset immediately on that SVP. T. I don't know why the damn starting soon music didn't go. I wonder if Be Right Back worked. No, something's wrong with the side tone, whether it's the audio on the headset. Let me make sure that's. But we're open and off. So you see that at the volume profile, the session volume profile has reset. VPOC has immediately come there as normal. We'll set the template. I don't think I've even bothered to set up my multi-brackets yet. Set for both. As I trade with my keyboard, this indicates that multi-brackets is active. Oh, that was a quick pop. The hell did that go? Where did my templates go? There we are. Well, there's a lovely 8-point move so far. And VPOC migration up. Obviously, the VPOC is much more sensitive in the early or initial stages of the market because it's based on volume. So as volume increases, then so will the VPOC, sensitivity of the VPOC. This bright line is the current session VPOC, and the duller line, which is not visible on the chart at this moment, is from the full session. And I'll try the Be Right Back music because I'll be right back. I hope everything's working according to plan. Well, they bummed out a few guys that were long, I guess. I will now switch the IRT charts to the day session. Makes it a little easier to follow along there. I think I'll probably like having this OBS up continually, and I guess I could do the same with whatever else. I've switched the configuration of my monitors so that I have the book map on my left, lower left 4-rack setup, which is one of the two new 32-inch 4Ks. I switched it from the right side to the left side and put the IRT on the right side, and I keep looking over the wrong monitor thinking, I got to get used to the new configuration here. I did that because of I didn't want to have the monitors pinched in, and I was having some side fade or side glare, whatever they call it on that monitor, and the IRT doesn't seem to have that problem, or it's not. I don't need to be that specific with it. So at the moment, I'm looking straight at this monitor, which is where my focus should be, and the IRT is a little bit to my right, a little bit off center, and what I was experiencing was this side of the book map was grayed out because of the viewing angle. So now it's much easier on my eyes. And I hope will keep my focus better. So we not much of an opening swing low and then a drive up above mid, this world famous 8,700, which was a big level yesterday. Seems to be pretty important again. Here we are back at these levels, and it's just straight around a little bit here. They might come down for a price check at aisle 3 to see how this original VPOC at the open holds up. Here's our IB low, IB high, open. The rest of them we understand, right? And here we go. Price check aisle 3. Boom. Now, got a big pile of liquidity sitting down here at this 79.25 to 78.5 area. Been there since before the open. I forget exactly when, but it came into the market, as you see, came into the market back here at about 8 o'clock, 8:15. Exactly. I think if I look lower left, it's 7:31. Oh, came right in there just after that can't be right. 8:07. There we go. This is because this is 7:30. This was that news report. Okay, so boom. Price check aisle 3. Up we go. I hope to hell this is all working. I'm going to be pretty frustrated if I'm still. So it's pretty much rotational at this point. Basically, mean reversion off about 80 to 90, 10 points. Sweet. They haven't picked a direction yet. Whether they will or not is another story. Pretty easily seen on the Renko. I won't find out if any of this audio is working properly until after the stream, unfortunately. I use a headset, and I don't have any speakers or audio output on my trading machine. I guess I could try to dial into the stream from another machine. And see. Got to figure out a button for the mute. I just had to quickly grab my mouse and cough. Mute off on the OBS while I had a cough coming on here. But at least everything seems like it's okay, so that's good. I will try to log on to the stream from another machine that I monitor the Trader Lab on, just to see what the hell is going on and if it's live streaming and audioing and all those kinds of things. Not that it makes any damn difference. The point of this stream is for my video trading journal so that I can see what I'm seeing and hear what I'm thinking at the moment and try to understand and improve my narration, my understanding of market movement around these levels, etc. We've got a real tight jam up here of the mid, the VWAP, and the POC, which obviously is over here, pushed from IRT. So at the moment, we're mean reversion and rotational, I guess. Well, let's hope that this is all working out right. We have the IRT. This is the microcomposite. I noticed that Tom and T-Lab and some of the folks had cut off their microcomposite here. My thinking is as long as price is overlapping, it's in the same microcomposite. So what I've done is left my greater microcomposite here and drawn the profile here for what they were looking at yesterday, which is with an MCV POC at about 67. However you want to look at it, it's pretty obvious what the trade is, and this is where, oh shit, here, Acapulco time here. This is the large candle from the FOMC announcement of rate cuts. So very likely we might come back to the scene of that crime, but doubtful that it'll be Christmas. Don't forget this is Christmas. Now you can see that the full session VPOC has migrated up and aligned with the current session. In other words, the VPOC for this full session has aligned now with the VPOC for this session volume profile. The full session has aligned with the VPOC has aligned with the full session or the current session. And they tend to stick together now because obviously the volume's the volume, right? Except sooner than I said that, you see that there was a quick divergence there where the full session dropped down. But now we'll see how they go. They could go up and test this high, which isn't particularly thin, at a bit of volume. You see there's not really a bunch of taper up there like there is down here. That's typical. And that's also, of course, the IB high. So I'm just concerned about this audio. As long as it's going to the stream, I guess I don't care if I hear the music, but I've got a walk-in bass on the Be Right Back, and I've got some piano on starting soon. I just want to be sure that I haven't got something. I'm not sure why in the hell. All I did was change that to a different monitor. Now that monitor is on a HDMI rather than the display port, which all the rest of my stuff is. That might have something to do with it. And it's going through the graphics card. NVIDIA RTX GeForce card, which it was before, but it was going through on a D-Link, D port, rather than HDMI. There is a difference there, but I was thinking that was HDMI had more audio support than D-Link. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, who cares? Just so the damn thing works. And hopefully the audio is okay. I'm still using the headset with the headset mic. It's a Logitech G Pro X. At some point here when things justify it, I will get a Shure SM7B, perhaps the DB. Then it'll boom and I won't have to have the headset on. Which will be kind of nice. And the quality should be better. So developing value area high. Now they've closed down the the rotations. They're kind of consolidating into this value area high and low, which is pretty tight. Four handle range. Not enough range at all to trade. The good trades were previous back here when the swings were 8-9 points, and there was plenty of room before the VPOC or the mid, which is this would be this first obstacle requiring the scale for the mean reversion trade, which is all I do. I am going to mute off the headset here for a moment. Hopefully the Be Right Back's working. Well, music's playing on hold, so I mean they'd be right back. So I don't know why the hell it's not coming across here, but anyway. And I'm not sure why it's doing that. Yeah, anyway. So it seems to be all okay. Green swapping is green swapping, and there you go. No trades today so far. There I got that desktop audio through the headset now. That's kind of weird. Okay. The mysteries and the joy of trading technology just out of my level. Actually, it's really not out of my level. It should be right in my wheelhouse, but let's see. Yep. That's pretty weird. Okay. So here's my problem. For risk neutral trading, I've got to have an entry, and there has to be enough range to take my first target ahead of an obstacle and achieve risk neutrality, which means that if I enter a trade with a 3-point stop for both contracts, then I need to have a T1 scale at +3 in order to be risk neutral. Then the second contract is riding free, and the worst that can happen is a scratch. But if you don't have 3 handles here ahead of the first obstacle, then there's not enough range to take the trade. I hope that that's clear, and I want to keep repeating that to myself because often, just like everybody else, I get caught up in the moment, and little FOMO will start itching on the back of your spine or whatever else, and you'll think, well, yeah, okay, here's the actual obstacle. What is that? It's 2 points, right? Less than 2 points, 1.5. And you'll start thinking, yeah, well, I'll be down here at mid. Well, that's not right. Because especially the POC, which is the most traded price or level for the session, means that that's where the most trade happened, and that's the highest probability that there's going to be fluctuations around that on either side. So there you are. And I'll be right back, I hope. So let's see what we will see. I'm not sure why that's still got the framing line around it. Maybe because there's only one. I'm going to try something that I've been thinking about here. Well, let's see though. Now we're getting some rotation back down to the 80 level. Got a lot of this liquidity's been laying in here since before the, well, right at the that number. Are they going to mean revert? Now this would be 80, 85 to the first obstacle is fine. You just do have this liquidity, which popped in and then jumped out at about 84, but that's still a 4 point. So that's well within the risk neutral parameter for my particular trading setup, which is multiples of 2 contracts, 3 point or 12 tick stop for each. And then the first scale off at 3 points, 12 ticks positive, meaning that risk neutral on the second. Okay, so we had 41, 41 stops come out down here. This is a little bit ahead of the game. One stop here. So the problem for me is that didn't trade down to 80, but that could be considered a trigger and exhaustion. 41 out to 40. Here we go with 1 again. They're not getting any more stops down there. Now we're coming back. Let's see what happens now. Basically, we've been mean reverting. Outside, in. Outside, in. Rotational, mean reversion. There's some percentage which I don't have the actual stats to back up, but it's a high percentage of time the market is trading rotationally. The fact, the trending days are far, far fewer in the futures markets. I can't speak to anything else. I haven't traded equity since 1999, 2000, early 2000. Took a little look at Forex once back in the early 2000s and realized what a rigged scam that is, with no central market, no central market, no accountability. And fortunately found futures, which is a rigged game probably, but it's at least more fair, or the most fair, the most honest market structure and auction market theory around so far. Never mind the Bitcoin and the crypto guys. Oof, Jesus, that's got to be the Wild West, even more so. That's got to make the Forex market look tame. And then some pencil neck like that Sam Fried jerk off steals millions of dollars from his clients. Doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. What an asshole. Hopefully his parents will also be jailed. They were in it right up to their eyes, according to the reporting. And who the hell knows if that's true, but I assume so. So there we have a test of the VWAP and mid. They were not able to get back up to POC and then sold back off, but only 3 points, if you notice. 4. Some noise went off there for something. I don't know what it was, but I heard bing bong from someplace. Trying to see where all this going on here. As with every day, I'm extra cautious. Early on in my career, I was way over trading, so I'm extra cautious, and that's a real impediment. I'll be the first to say that. So we're into the IB30 zone. which is a stat that says the IB high and low is the high and low of the first 1 hour. So it changes as we progress in time to that point. There's a stat that says 80 or 90 something percent of the time after the IB is set, in other words, after 0930 Central Time, one of the other will be taken out by the regular trading hours price. There's also a new stat that's been developed by someone in the traders lab, that says in the second 30 minutes, which just happened now as I talk, either the IB low or IB high will be extended. And that just happened. So the IB 30 just hit. I hope that was clear. It is to me. So anyway. Now, what are they going to do? Head down for the E. There's a big stat for the overnight VPOC. And that could be a trade that I would be interested in. Let's just have a look, see here. IB low.
Order submitted.
And we'll see what happens.
Order submitted.
Not sure how to do this now. I don't know what to do. I don't know where my stuff went. Oops. See if we get our risk neutral trade out here. I'm going to move this up a little bit ahead of that number,
Order submitted.
that figure, because that's I screwed up. I should have done that sooner. I should have been ahead of this liquidity and ahead of the overnight VPOC. Now I could have just cost myself a trade, which is just freaking irritating. Let's see where we go now. That could have been my big mistake. Well, big mistake, a mistake. You never know where the trade's going to go, but stuff like that, thinking and looking at making a snap rather than managing the trade, those are not good. Not good traits. And I'm not sure what to do with this liquidity here. Whether that IB low is going to get to there or not, I don't know. It looks like it's going to lift off. Let's see if we get risk neutral here. There we go. We're now risk neutral. So you see how the break even jumped up. Why? Oh, it's because I moved it. It jumped up.
Order submitted.
The difference is here was our original target, and I moved up here to get ahead of the EVPOC, meaning my entry was late. And so now I am risk neutral, and the absolutely worst that's going to happen to me is a scratch, meaning that there would be no, but no loss. So we might see it get through this liquidity and punch down here to the 70 number, which may or may not be okay. And may go back up and take it out. Never know. Kind of looking like it's going to go down, except we got a big bunch of volume here to get around in that overnight point of control. Looks like we're going to do that here. Get below this mid. Start looking at the... Hey, there's no real value area yesterday with that big trend, I guess. So, ooh. Now, this is the full session VWAP migration, not the current session, but the full session. And I'm not sure what to think here. Generally, we'll get some movement down. The full session should move a few more contracts here. And we'll see if we get this brought down. You could tell easily by the number here is 11,000. And oh no, what am I doing? I'm looking up here. Sorry. I'm looking at the full session. That's why it migrated. Obviously, it migrated because it was at 11.4 and now it's at 11.8. So, there you go. If we just get a little motion down below 73, I'm thinking we'll get down to my number. Now I have to decide if I want to pull up to a bit of profit here at the low volume area, or this is where the manage the trade story starts to irritate the crap out of me. Now we're at the entry. Probably going to take my stop, which means I would scratch. Maybe not. This is a hard trade management for me. And yesterday, I just have an example. I'm going to actually create a stream later today or this evening, which would be a replay of a trade that I took off stream in the middle of the big drop, where my stop was never even gotten close to, but I trailed up tight. I got taken out and it went on for another 40 points. Had I left my stop alone, as I'm doing now at scratch, and then what messes with your mind, of course, is now that I'm remembering yesterday and not moving the stop up to break even, or past break even, or past entry, or to the first scale, it'll go back and take me out for a scratch, because this price action is not looking good right here, especially around all this stupid liquidity we got floating around in here. Right now, it's not looking too bad because break even and stop is at this real low volume node above this price shift and above the previous liquidity. Likely to take it out here, but never know. I would like to see them all they need is one more push. And I'm sure that before the day's over, 70 or down around 67 will probably be the number. So I'll just let it play. And there we go. So that was a scratch or scratch in a bit. And that's how they work. Irritating, but hey, what the hell? Now I will take I'm not sure how to do these now. Not sure how to get those notifications off the damn board either. For the stream, that's not good. So that's kind of frustrating or irritating, but there you are. That's what it is. Why this is doing all of that, I'm not sure. I want to go like this, I guess. So a risk neutral trade, scratched. Entry, I guess you could say, was a little late like usual, but I was looking for this overnight point of control and I had range. I'd say that this was a little tight on the range. Now it's going to come back down and go zooming through and down to my target. Let's see. Anyway, back to the risk neutral. So my entry, my first target or scale, brings the break even to here because I moved up above this liquidity and to get just above the overnight point of control. So that means the entry was a little bit late. Otherwise, there should have been at least 3 handles to the top of that, above the overnight at POC. Anyway, and then so I moved the remaining stop down to just under break even. And so the worst I can do is scratch. And that's exactly what happened. Got down there close. I could have taken it off. But as I said yesterday, that didn't prove out very. And that cost me 30 handles. And who the hell knows what's going to happen today. So those don't do your win rate or risk reward ratio very much good, but it sure does a tremendous amount of good for your psychology. Now, here you see we have an interesting situation. This is mid, this is VWAP, and here is VPOC. There's a structured TLAB trade, which is mid or VWAP POC. This is 81, this is 86, so there is range there. But is this thing going to go back up to that point? Let's check and see. This would be a structured TLAB trade north, along. Here we are at the just flapping around the mid. Well, what's the mid tell you? That's exactly the mid equidistant from here to here. So, flip a coin. However, looks like it's going to go up and grab that POC as the structured trade says. In this case, really, if you entered at mid, you'd need to be scaling ahead of this bit of liquidity here if you follow the rules correctly. You want to have your first scale off by the obstacle. So. And I wonder what else is happening here. I'm not sure why that's doing that, but I'll be right back. And IB is going to set in 10 minutes. One would expect that if we're up here near the highs, take this POC, that the IB high may be the one taken out. The stat says 80 or 90 something percent chance one of the two will be taken out. We've already extended and satisfied the IB 30 stat by moving the IB low lower. You can see that over here. Here we are. The IB low was extended down. IB high was pushed up once, but that was before 9. So that IB 30 stat is here. Now there is a stat, the regular IB stat, that says in another 9 minutes, these will cease to move. They will be locked or fixed. And at that point, either this one or this one will be taken out sometime during the trading day. And, one would have to imagine it's going to be the IB high. And they could also extend the IB high, and it would still typically, qualify, not typically, but technically qualify as another IB 30. And in this case, I'm tempted to take the developing value area high up through IB high towards the overnight high, which is another high stat. But boy, that's a scary. Well, and here they're going to go. So there's technically a second IB 30 and 74% chance we're going to get the IB or the overnight high, which is also up there at the top. That's awful dicey. And this is a real low volume. I'm half tempted to take this. What this would have probably been the trigger for this high. The thing that kind of worries me is all this liquidity jumping in here, and the fact that everybody and their brother knows that statistic, including the dorks that are trading this from the other side. And we've only got 594,000 contracts trading out this morning in the first hour. So that's better than yesterday. I think we only had 1 million contracts at the end of the damn day. So let's see how she goes here. I'm not going to get in this now. That's 91 to 94. That's just on the nose of the scale. There's the IB. IB still not set. If the IB were set, in other words, if this were past 930, this would cease to move. It would be fixed. And you could be looking at this as an IB continuation or failure, which are also structural, T-lab structural trades. Why I'm hearing the damn desktop beeping and not the music, I don't know. And where that came from, I don't know either. Got no lags. IRT seems to be just working Jim Dandy here. Yesterday was kind of painful. Yeah, I'm sort of liking this stat. It's nice to be able to see them on the right monitor, and that I've got excellent streaming and whatever else. And when start getting a full chat, then I'll have access to all of that also. So there we go. Bobo. So there we go. Back down to the VPOC right here for the current session. I'm not going to change these around. It's just kind of stupid. I guess I throw that one in there to be absolutely technical. I've got this happening. I'm going to change this here quickly. I will show the stream what I'm doing here. This is now the window or the browser rather than the window. So if I want to throw this in here, I set the templates this way. And that's that. And back to the window itself, so pop-ups and crap at the bottom don't get in the way. So we came up and tested. We went to mid VWAP up and got through the VPOC and dropped straight down to the mid and the VWAP. Will they rotate down to a price check of aisle 3? This is the full session, don't forget. It looks like they're going to do that. I love to short. That's one of my problems is my preference or my, I don't know. Ever since the late 90s, I've always been a short seller. That's always been, it's always seems to me the market goes down a hell of a lot faster than up. There's an old saying that says the market takes the stairs up and jumps out the window down, something like that. It's pretty much the truth. Now we've got a big low volume area here. This is the Globex VWAP, which is the full session VWAP. Used to be called Globex. I don't know if they still do. I do. Now, where are we? We're going to come up and test mid and pull back. Looks like it. I'd like to just grab a quick 3 or 4 off of here and be done with this, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. This is kind of FOMO country here now. And a good chance to get slapped. So I suppose you could say that we had 53 up here. We tested back to 11, I guess. Could be exhaustion. We're at this top and we sold off. That would have been the trade. And you see why taking the FOMO short was not a good idea. Here we are, and there's a stop. There's a stop out right there. I have coded up a series of structured trades or trade names, which I use in the journal. And I have several error codes: execution error, taking a breakout. And in my opinion, a breakout is a FOMO trade. So I mark it as an error. And there's some people that their whole trading strategy is breakout. So there you go. Bend over. It's a Christmas tree. So I'm feeling sort of good about the fact that I'm kind of bummed out I missed this trade. I did okay with my one trade for the day so far. Risk neutral, scratch, looking for the next one. I always have a little bit of a problem on these. This would have been probably the likely real mean reversion trade. I was a bit skeptical and was looking at this high. Now we're testing the mid a couple of times. But is this a mean reversion from this low volume node back to the top? That's the big question. And I don't have any stats for that or any real feeling that's going to happen. These ones where you come up and test the mid and the VWAP and all that, typically retail hits the mid, they sell it. From the bottom, they sell it again down. Same way if it comes down and hits it from the top, they buy it. Mid or VWAP or half back, whatever you want to call it. Mid is sometimes referred to as half back in the old days. And the VWAP is something that's totally new. Had nothing to do with market profile because market profile didn't originally look at volume at all. Just TPO, time, price, opportunity. Santa says bend over. Okay, the IB has been set. So now the IB high and low, which is off the bottom of the screen, will never move. They will sit there now forever because we set at 930. There is a stat that says we'll take out either the IB high, which was only set before 930, or the IB low, which was set long damn time ago, wherever it went. Down here under the ETH mid was set way back when. So 90% chance one of those will be taken out is the theory. Is the statistic actually. And this is we opened higher in range, so that would be the stats to be looked at. You notice there's a big pile of liquidity laying just below the IB high, right there. Doesn't quite show up because the number needs to be a little bigger, and then you see the number. Been sitting there for a long time. Kind of funny because it looks to me like this is just my eyes. Yeah, there we go. 190. Okay. Now we're just going to flop around here and test up, test down, test all around probably. Half back or mid and VWAP. We still have the POC above. The structured trade from the TLAB says mid or VPOC to POC. And this is a rotational day, so that is essentially a mean reversion trade, if I understand it correctly. And this looks to me like retail soup. Everybody's all excited to get somewhere and get one of these stats, and they're just going to slap them around. And here they go for the structured trade. Maybe. And just barely the right amount of range, 73 to 77. That's a 4 points. That, you know. And you see what happens. They tested it here. They tested here. Everybody gets excited. Oh, we're going to PLC. Oh, boom. It's just really typical. Well, we typical, you rascal Babbitt. So, yeah, I sort of disappointed I didn't grab a couple $100 off that table, but I'm pretty happy that I stuck to my trade plan and my risk neutral strategy. And it is the 21st of December, Thursday. Christmas is next Monday, I believe. That's definitely a holiday. I think the market opens again Tuesday night. There we go. Finally, we got somebody moving down there, but that's just that's only the full session. That's not the current session. Not to be confused. There we go. Now we got the migration down. So now, is it going to... I'm not showing this because if you don't know how to do it, well then, there you go. Okay, so now we have migration. I got in the wrong spot. Up a quarter. Boom, there we go. Now we have them both aligned again. We just got a VPOC migration down on the current session VPOC aligning with the full session VPOC. And the big question is that going to give it impedance to move for the lower ground? And as I stand here flapping my hole instead of trading, yes, it did. And we had a pretty classic test back up and trigger right? But only 3 points. So are they going to head down again? Or is this just noise? And one of their favorite tricks is to do this, get everybody excited about a short, and then price check aisle 3 right back up here again. And you'll notice how many times it's been up here in this area. So extremely light volume, 600,000 contracts so far. Basically, mean reversion, a little push down, a little push up at the IBs. And we still haven't taken out the official IB that I'm aware of. No, that was 926, and we haven't touched the bottom. So, yeah. And we got a doji going on in the MC over here. Scratch, trade, scratch, D1, D2, Yeah. My guess is, as I typed in the T Lab, caution, price check aisle 3. Boom. See if they don't come zooming up here to this 87. This 87 has been a number for a couple of days now. It was until yesterday until that bottom fell out. And I'm not sure what the hell caused that yet. I suppose, generally that would be a news event. Could also be that a bunch of people wanted to get the hell out of Dodge. Their ski pass at Aspen open tomorrow. And so, whatever else, this is Christmas. Don't forget, here comes that price check at aisle 3. Maybe not, but And here we come to that price check, I'm assuming. Oh, price check. Mhm. Yeah, they're going to fuss around and wind it back up to 87, in my opinion, and could well go after that IB high. Could also end up a whatever the opposite of a neutral day is. I forget now. Inside day, I guess, where it doesn't take out either the IB high or low. If it takes out both, it's called a neutral day, and then if it goes way past on either side, it's called neutral extreme. I think those are all IB or market profile terms, I believe. And I'll be right back. Hopefully working. was a big issue. We didn't quite get that price check at aisle 3. There was a good break off there. Trade back up. Down, back up. Okay. I was having a lovely breakfast with my wife. Now we've got the VPOC below mid and VWAP, so things have changed now. Here's our Renko. This was the push down, push up. We still haven't gotten our IB stat, but we are kind of lower lows and lower highs, if you want to be technical about it. I got to get that mute button figured out. It takes me for holding back a cough while I find the damn mouse click. And I got to say, I don't know what to think about this now. This looks like just an extension of retail saving. And probably just a really good time not to get involved. And the minute I say that, of course, it's going to fall out of bed and head for value area low down here, this liquidity at 70, probably. Right now, we've just been down and up and down and up. So mean reversion, and that's likely to continue, I guess. Let's just think about it a minute. Didn't quite get the overnight mid, or I guess we did. If you want to look at this, 46 contracts. That was a stat of 77.7. This actually moved, I guess, at the last minutes of the pre-market. And 73 is right here is also the IB low. So they're going to get that IB low, make that IB stat. Looks like so. Looks so. I wonder how many times they're going to tease them about that. I don't know what the hell's going on here. This should have a profile right here, and it looks to me like it's not catching up. And I don't know why. And I don't know why the crosshairs aren't moving. Talking about my IRT. No crosshairs here, as there should be here. Here. I don't know what the hell the deal is here. Something wrong with it. There's no delay lags. What I will do is a reload and see whether that fixes it. As it usually does. In the meantime, we'll watch all the retail guys get excited about that IB low again and then get bitch slapped. We're still at 800,000 contracts. And my, what a difference. Still don't get that crosshairs though. I'm not sure what the hell happened to that, but yeah, okay. So that looks a little more normal. Sorry. And here we go back to test the BPOC and whatever else. This is a real dicey spot to enter a short because you've got the VPOC, which is a definite, target or obstacle and or target. And then you got these two just above it. And it's been smacking people around down here for a while. As I say that, of course, I could have taken the trade and been scaled. So, do as I say, not as I do, I guess, or something. Now, if you were at all prone to take a long, there would be range to get back from right in here, to get back up here. But so far, my assumption is that the context is short. You just look at the Renko, we're boom, boom, and then we're trading on a downward skew, lower highs, lower lows. I'd love to just smack into one for 3 points, take it off, and go take a nap. I may just have to go take a nap, forget the 3-point part. I will do that stream later tonight. The replay of yesterday. Yesterday, 2 o'clock, 1400, off-stream trade, which made a couple $100, but highlights the stupidity or the fallacy of not sticking with your break, the absolute setup of risk neutral, where you leave your stop just on inside of break even and then let the market play out. Because I trailed up tight, got about, I don't know, 250, something like that dollars, which is just a handful of ticks. And the market never got remotely close within 5 or 6 points, or 3 or 4 points anyway, of my stop, and traded down 30 handles. So, And then, of course, with that in my mind, I definitely did move my stop today and went back and got taken for a scratch. not taken, but achieved a scratch rather than, So there you go. And I don't know what to think about this. It's real close to the VPOC, VWAP, mid. Uh, I'd love to get on a short for 3 or 4 points, but there's just 3 points, barely. If you're spot flipping on and entering anyone, and I'm not, I would have been down here somewhere. I don't know what to think here. I'm thinking and not talking. So that's not very much help for when I'm watching this later. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth here, little teeny weeny edges to the upside. As I was saying, it was lower highs and lower lows. Now it's coming back to the mid. Quite a good possibility that we'll take out the IB high. The IB high stat and above it, the overnight high stat are closer than the overnight low. Obviously, we're at the mid, so high and low is equidistant to IB. Both of those are high probability statistics. My feeling is we're looking lower, but I think I always feel that way. So if you want to look at it, reality, this is almost perfect kurtosis here, except there's no excess really at the bottom and really none at the top. So one of those has probably got to give way, one would imagine. And it doesn't seem like it wants to get higher very bad. Doesn't seem like it can make much traction higher. This big pile of liquidity, Jesus Christ. Oh, 300. I saw that. It looked like a one in front of it. I was going, whoa. Traded out 133 contracts, 760 iceberg traded there, if I'm right, if that's correct. Maybe 100. 4K monitor. It's hard for me to figure out those goofy colors. I may have to change that color. It's hard for me to read. That purple thing. And if you want to be technical about it, to not look at the levels or full session, just on this current, what's visible in the chart, we've got basically mean reversion again, right? Outside in, outside in. So, yeah, tough day to trade. I'm happy that I saw a trade, executed, and held my scaled, and then it pulled back to my break even, so I scratched. So it was a scratch. No harm, no foul. Got to get this a little bit easier to see. Oh, shut up there. I don't know whether that's coming off on the stream or not, but it's louder than hell in my ears. That system noise when sometimes if I grab in the wrong spot here, it'll think it'll gives me some deal that says I can't move it. A chart element, which I'm not trying to do, but Now, are they going to test up to that IB high? A ways to go up here. Quite a ways to go. At 92, so it's 10 handles. I'd love to just grab a short one out of the middle here. Or, I'd love to grab the 20 pointer, but in this kind of a market and my trepidation for against over trading, I would be happy to pick up my normal scales, which are 12 and 24 ticks. I think I'm quite happy with the new setup. I've got the two 32-inch 4K monitors on the lower section of the rack. The upper two are 27 1080p's, which I use for other stuff, sometimes this. Then I've got one 27 1080p vertical with the OBS and stuff, and another 27 1080p on my older workstation with the stream and whatever, the T-Lab and whatever else going on there. Kind of nice, kind of handy. Got some real estate here. Can pretty much see everything at a glance. Don't have to be constantly wondering if I'm on the right screen on the stream. So if you look at this, what we done? We chopped like hell, pushed down, pushed up. That gave us this range. And we traded down below VWAP and mid, almost to the POC, almost to the IB. And now we're trading back this direction. So are they going to balance this trade out up here? Who the hell knows? And that's an important thing to remember, is that we don't know what's going to happen. The outcome of every trade is 50-50. What you have to do is vet the trades, come up with a statistically significant edge, and then take as many instances of that setup as you can. And the scale of numbers will pay out in your favor. And the simplest and most obvious analogy for this method or business plan is a casino. That is exactly what they do. They figured out the edge, the statistics, based on a specific set of rules. They trade absolutely those same rules. They never vary one iota. And all you have to do is take a trip to Vegas or any casino town and ask yourself, who looks to you like they're making the most amount of money? I don't think there's any question about it. So that's the difference between trading as a business and a video game or gambling, in my opinion. So I'm trying to run a business here. My problem now, or one of my problems, is to have the accurately vetted, statistically significant trades. And with this trading stuff, there's so many possible variables. It's really you really have to hold the line, because a data set is not statistically significant if there's more than one variable. If you're moving the stops, if you're moving the targets, that negates that those particular trades from your data set, and you have to qualify them at larger parameter context, being one of them, opening type being another, and then have two or three trades statistically vetted setups that you take every time they present. And that's a lot of work. I mean, that's a lot of. I'm still working out how to exactly identify, capture, and filter that data properly. I've got a Journalytics journal because I've owned Jigsaw forever. I have a Excel journal that I built to capture the data from my Microsoft Access database, which just was too anal and too granular. So I just used the Excel portion of that, and I have Rhythmic set up to export the trades every day at 16:05 to that data set, and then I bring the data in. I format the data and bring it into the actual database of that Excel. And that's the quickest, or the only way I've found so far to actually vet and be able to filter and come up with specific statistics where, for example, all instances where the context was, the open was a higher in range, the context was rotational, and I'm looking at the IB30 stat. For example, that's the only way that Excel, I can filter for all those different things. And that's the only way I've been able to figure out to do it yet so far. Journalytics Journalytic is real fancy and a bunch of colors and shiny and all that crap. I'm not sure that it really works the way I would like it to. It's $500 a year, something stupid. So it would be nice to find a real. I've actually even thought about having a couple of the programmers I work with in my other life do something, tell them what to do and build one, but we'll see. We'll just see where it goes. Right now, we traded up, got everybody excited, and then picked their pockets. Which reminds me, I want to see if, yes, okay, so that'll be great. But it's only got today's trades in it. Something happened to yesterday's trades with IRT. I mean, art Rhythmic, and I don't see them showing here. Well, I'm real anxious to see if when the data is pushed across on the CSV, CVS, whatever it is, CSV, delimited, to the database that yesterday's trades are pulled across. I don't know what happened to that last night. I couldn't find it anywhere. I got it on Journalytics, no problem, but the push to the Excel database didn't happen properly. And we have another migration down. So up, down, down, up, down, up. It's just stupid. Be nice to grab a short 3 ticks, couple $300, and call it a day. Instead, I may just call it a day with a scratch trade and think of that as a Christmas present. coming up on, just past 2 hours here on the stream. So I'm thinking that I will. I'm not going to, I don't think, stream for a long period of time. And I have to start noting when I put the trades on and the various markers so that I can put the chapters in the stream definition here for YouTube, especially on these longer beauties. I think I'll run this up till 11 local and then stop the stream. That'll be 2.5 hours. That's got to be enough. But I am pleased with the way this looks. These levels are directly in front of me when I stand on my pad. I have 2 standing desks in an L shape. I don't ever sit down. I don't have a chair in the office, actually. Oh, yes, I do. Come to think about it. I've got one I had to repair. And that's that. So I like it a lot. Yep. These IRTs off to the right. Very clear, easy to read. And the book map, which when it was on the right side originally, this area was real whited out because of the angle of viewing. So with it in front of me now, just a little bit of that angling or that viewing, whatever the hell you call it, to the extreme left over here. So what? I can shift feet and I'm all set. And I don't have to move around much, which will be fortunate and necessary when I have the boom mic up instead of the headset mic. Man, look at them just slamming these poor retail suckers up and down and up and down. Retail soup. And there's, if these guys, as long as they want to keep hopping in the chopper, somebody's going to be more than happy to pick their pocket. Okay, now what? Oh, there's a nice little pop down. That would have been a good couple of points. And somebody will say, oh, it was a VPOC migration down. And yeah, it was by what, 50 cents? Yeah. We are kind of getting near the IB low, however, which is a stat, and a significant one, which would be right here at the overnight mid. This thing doesn't look like it's correct again. Oh, there it printed that one. Yeah, IB low is down here at 73. And it looks a hell of a lot closer on the looks a hell of a lot closer on Bookmap, doesn't it? Wow, that's funny. That's pretty funny. Developing value area low. Something's wrong. Something's very, very, very wrong. We're trading developing value area low at this minute, which is right here. And this Renko is way off of that. So something is goofy with the IRT. I'm not going to, I'll refresh the data again. But something pretty crazy here. Don't know. Don't know what to think about that. I'd love to just pound into this and see it zip down there to the IB low. But that's a breakout. That's a breakout, and therefore I will not do it. Developing value area low. Now we got it on the data refresh. It's now in the right spot. So now we'll see what happens now. See how it plays out now. Now it is at the developing value area low. Just a little below it and not too far off the low of the day, and which is the IB low. I don't know what all that beeping and bonging's about, but anyway. Oh, really? So it says here that the POC is shifted down. Something's wrong. I don't see a POC shift here. I don't see how it could even be possible. Something's wrong. Something's all goofy here now. I don't know what it is, but that ain't right. So I'm going to sit on my little fingers. The developing value area low, assuming that's where it really is, short, this area right here, would have been a nice, you'd be scaled now in risk neutral, targeting the low of the day and the IB low. But now it's a damn breakout trade, so it's frustrating. So that's disappointing. Very disappointing to me because I like to short. And there's 5 points when I was looking to hit into it, but spooked on the fact that the IB was, or that the IRT was showing different data. And again, these value levels are pushed from from IRT. Yeah, now this is back where it belongs, so that's normal again. Okay. We still have the IB low just below at 73. Not IB low, but the IB low stat. So I would suggest that we're going to take the IB low stat any minute here. That would be the 73 level. And I'm so pissed at myself because I was sitting here going, wow, yeah, I'm going to short into this. Then it's a breakout. Pulled back, look at that. And then I look over to my right and see that the IRT levels are not even close. And that question pulled me off the trade. Right now, I'd be sitting at 5 points without any heat whatsoever. And there we have it. The IB low stat, the new low of the day, could get down to the value area low from yesterday, which is this area here. There's no real value area actually in yesterday's trade because it was, in my opinion, a trend and runaway. So, wow, look at that. Oh, gosh, I'm sure glad that I wasn't short. 10 points. And the overnight low is below us. A ways below us. Overnight low is clear down here, it says. Doesn't look that way by looking at this, but according to that, it is. That's another 10 points. Wow, would have been a 20. Would have been about a 20 point, yeah. So far, 10 points. I would have been in it for 10. That is just pissed me off. Oh, so irritating. Yeah, that's just really darn. That's just darn annoying. I am going to wind the stream down now. I don't see myself taking any trades now. It was just looks strictly like FOMO to me. This could have been a short right here, where it was a test back to the value area or the mid, overnight mid, which is liquidity, and then sell off for another handful of points. And that overnight low is still down there somewhere. So, that's a very likely possibility it'll be taken out. But this is such a light volume day. Not a million contracts yet, 910,000, I think. Yeah. And I'm not in the mind mood or whatever to pretend I'm going to be an aggressive trader on this light volume day before Christmas break. One day before the Christmas break. Tomorrow they'll be trading, and I'd be interesting to see how light that is. Then it's over with until Tuesday night. I think it's Tuesday night. I don't think there's any trade on Monday. Maybe even Tuesday, and then opening again Tuesday night, but I'll have to look and see. Could be Monday. No, Monday's the 25th. Yeah, no, it's got to be Tuesday. And they're going to, test it up. There was a get on at liquidity, and here we go down again. Down 5 so far, 6 points, 7 points so far. And a big sell-off coming again, looks like. Looks so clean it looks so easy to trade on the Renko. Yeah, pretty clearly, as hindsight always is, this was an excellent location. Came back up and tested just barely through that liquidity, or even here, and then the sell-off. So that would have been a Jim Dandy spot to short, 10 points or so. See if they pull it up here to 67 and then dump it again. Is this a 1, 2, 3 pattern? 1, 2, 3. W or whatever they call that. These are not buyers. I mean, it's just nothing. This is such light volume. Look at this. It's 16 contracts. Wow. I mean, it's looking short. There's no question about it. The overnight stat is probably the most likely to be taken out at this point. But, you know. But I'm not going to go there. And I'm going to shut the stream off so I will not be tempted to stand here and trade this. I think the best approach. I need to get ready to go do some stuff outside. And these levels, because I've let this wind down, are kind of deceptive. You see, there's 68, 65, 64, 4 handles. This is a gut-wrenching experience, this thing, kind of stuff like this. There we go. Down we go some more. Looking for a new low. Yeah, there's a new low. So this is definitely a short. Yeah, I'm going to shut her off because I feel myself having itching to take another trade, but I'm going to stick with my planned trade and my scratch. And stopping the stream here will be motivation for that.